Hi, welcome to Tea Time with Amie and Bev.
Good day.
Good day, great day, God day. You make it what it is
That's right.
for you. What's going on, girl?
Lots of crazy fun stuff for
Crazy
me
fun.
lately. It's crazy fun. Yeah, it's like, you had asked the question last week, why do you feel like you have this desire to want to evolve so quickly? And I've been thinking about that. And today it's like really been kind of loud. And I think a lot of it is because it's time. For me, it's time. For a majority of my life, it was a slow progression, I guess. I could say slow progression, but it probably was really fast, being going through all the stuff, the behaviors, I don't know, probably a lot of karmic stuff as well.
A lot of processing.
A lot of processing or lack of processing, but it having experiences, right? But no, so it's like it just really opened a lot of doorway for me, a big doorway. It just reminded me that I'm on the right track. I'm in the right place. Um, the questions help me to remind myself to be gentle on myself. So when I'm going through these processes and it seems like it's happening so fast, to take the time for myself and rest, listen to the information that's coming to me. So that has, like, I've seen things the last few days that are probably what most probably wouldn't have talked about or whatever, but I've just seen stuff. I saw cows running and I couldn't, and then I saw like there was nothing after them. And then I saw something step out from behind this tree off in the distance, and then it was gone. So it was just kind of strange. I mean, if you've ever been around the cows, they don't usually run, not
Right,
unless something's behind them, trying to usher them on or move them on or get them out of the way. Otherwise, they just kind of mosey. They don't even care. They'll just mosey across the road. They'll stop in the middle of the road. They don't care.
right, right.
But yeah, so that's just some interesting things, and then led all the way up to this morning. I've been kind of guided to look at different things, and that's part of the journey. The fun part of the journey is paying attention to the stuff we're guided to. Because suddenly, I'm guided to cut contracts. I'm guided to remove implants. And that's just for my. This is my journey. This is just, and when I say that stuff, it's an energetic thing. It's on this lifeline and all lifelines and all my lifelines, all the way back through my ancestors, because it's a great healing. But I'm acknowledging this from the place that I'm at right now. So there's like, I mean, I could tell you so much stuff is going on because it just is, but we're in that energy right now that there's such a huge evolution and we're supposed to evolve. We're
Well,
not
share
supposed
away.
to.
What do you got to tell us?
Oh, with today.
Well, with what you've been experiencing.
Oh, so like today, I was in the bathroom getting ready, and I hear a man's voice talking to me, a masculine voice, maybe not necessarily a man, masculine voice. And I look around the room, and the door's closed. I'm the only one in there. I'm like, okay. And I'm putting my makeup on, listening to music, and then I see this. I I don't know. It's not a person. It wasn't like a tall standing person there. It was this big, huge energy, this big, huge being of energy. It seemed more masculine, which I know not to be always true by appearance wise as far as energy goes. But immediately I got like a knowing that this is my guardian angel. And I'm trying to think, I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, so it's an archangel. And then I hear no, guardian angel. And I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And then next thing you know, this next song that comes on is Brave. And it's telling me to say what you want to say, basically speak your truth is what I was gathering from it. So it's just like a lot of that stuff. And it's just guiding me to, I mean, this morning, because I've been up early already, but it was guiding me to releasing, to cutting cords, to looking at yourself in the mirror. It was actually saying to look at this thing that I found that said to look at yourself in the mirror and really forgive yourself. And it was an interesting because it was forgiving yourself, um, forgive yourself for any self judgments, blame, guilt, negative actions against others, and it had something to go along behind it. And it's like a lot of times I would look at myself, or I would say I forgive myself, but I would never have looked at myself in the mirror and said these things. So this started this morning, and then the rest of it, hearing the masculine voice, seeing that I have my guardian angel there. It's just it's fast. Like all this information is fast, and the question that you presented last week just helped me to kind of question things like, really, why? Because I didn't stop to ask that question. Why? Why am I feel like I'm such a, why do I feel this urgency? And it's just to get to where I am right this moment.
It's very interesting. I love all of that, but it's very interesting that you would bring up the topic of forgiveness, because I'm writing a book, and last night I was sitting and writing about my struggle with forgiveness.
That's awesome.
And then you bring it up. I'm like, so things like that happen for me all the time. I did a presentation on Saturday in front of about 25 women about visualization. After actually about the midway point, I was listening, I was listening to myself anyway, but about midway through my presentation, in my head, it was, this isn't for them, it's for you, for me. Because I'd been stuck in my head focusing on things that what I don't want. And the more I focus on it, the more it grows. And this is what I was telling them, and right, giving my whole presentation about visualization. And so in that moment, I was like, okay, I get that. I also, so huge reminder for me on that. It was huge. It was great. It was great. I needed it. I had the thought prior to the presentation, I should have asked somebody to take pictures for me so that I could have them for social media and stuff like that, right? You always want, anytime you're doing any kind of presentation or something like that, you want somebody taking pictures for you. Well, I thought, well, oh well, I didn't ask, it's okay, whatever. While I'm giving the presentations, one of the ladies got up and started taking pictures. And afterwards, she says, hey, I took some photos of you while you were talking and I'll send them to you. Right?
That's awesome.
Things like that happen for me all the time. I have a thought and then it happens. So that would be my focus of evolving. It is so important, and it's actually almost at a critical state, that I am aware of what I'm thinking. Because this stuff's happening fast. Whatever I'm thinking, and if there's a thought that comes up that's, would be considered on the negative side, boy, you guarantee I'm working on fast on getting this switched. Like, wait, don't take that order. Don't take that order. No. Right. And I switch it. So I get it. And what I wanted to say too about your experiences is that, just like my presentation about visualization, the universe puts us in positions for us to evolve, as long as we're aware and in the present moment of receiving the information, that the space you were in 9 months ago or before, you weren't in a space to be able to do what you're doing now mentally, right? With your thoughts and your space and your mental state of what you were focusing on at the time. And so the universe puts us in the exact place we need to be so we can evolve. And so I just I wanted to hit up on that, just so people understand, like, we have help and guidance from our spiritual teams, from our universal teams, God, source, angels, guides, whatever you want to call it. But you got to listen. And the other thing that came up for me recently, somebody was talking about their experiences. And in my head, the message, which we've heard so many times, is God only gives you what you can handle. And a few years back, I saw a social media post that said, God only gives you what you can handle, so he must think I'm one badass bitch, right? So like, I hold that. I'm like, this might seem hard right now. This might seem like the deepest of deep you've been in right now. but there's a reason why you're doing it. There's a reason why you're moving through it, and you can handle it. And then when things come up, like for Bev and I, where we're like asking those internal questions, which we've been talking about for a few weeks now, we've been asking these internal questions to for clarity about life, about spirituality, about growth and expansion. You can guarantee we're going to be brought an opportunity to get clarity, right? We're going to have that opportunity to grow. And so I think that's awesome that you're in that space.
It's just it's listening, it's being open and guided to the information that's being shared to you, because we've talked about it over and over and over again. We're constantly given information, we're constantly receiving. And it's like for you, it's like even the stuff that you're going through, you're allowing this information to come in. And before, we would be so cut off and blocking the stuff off and think that we're protecting ourselves when we're blocking everything off. We're not hearing anything. So it's a great space to be in, but I just feel like we're as one, we're all evolving forward. And it's like everybody's just an aspect of ourselves. Like if someone pisses you off, that's just it's an aspect of yourself, and it's to be okay with that aspect of yourself. What did I heard something, we all have the Hitler within us, and we all have the Buddha within us. Right. And it's just to be one with all of it. It's not to give too much energy to one or the other. It's just to be in peace and harmony. So it's a different space. And it's just a recognizing, because I'm in this place now where I'm just recognizing I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know, we go through a phase, especially like early on, I felt like am I missing everything? It's like, is it passing me by? Am I going to be stuck here? You know, whatever my thoughts were before, they're not those thoughts anymore. I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I know that if I feel an urgency to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask for grace and ease, and it's going to come however it comes. But that's one thing I've learned, especially with some of the stuff, that how fast it seems to be coming. And it's like afterwards, even this morning with all the stuff that I just feel like I've taken a leap or something. I got a little dizziness for a second there, and it was like, okay. So I just took a few seconds and took some breaths and breathed through it. Wasn't like it was a big deal. It's not the end, you know what I mean? It's just it's the beginning, really. I feel like I'm at this beginning place.
Well, really, we're always at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just a constant new beginning, because we just have this moment. And when this moment's gone, I have another moment. Mm-hmm. It's the same as choosing to get out of bed and be grumpy, or be grumpy for a moment, and the next moment be singing your heart out. And that was something else that came to me this morning, because of what I was writing last night, was grieving my old self, having to let go of that in order to evolve or change or shift. And the grieving process, there's layers. So there's no doubt when you grieve the loss of somebody in physical form, you're grieving them not being here, not being able to talk to them, not getting their hugs, right? There's layers. Not being able to celebrate special dates with them. So in order for the evolution of any of us, we have to let something die. So it's allowing that space of, I'm choosing to go on a path of growth and expansion, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I've read books, right? I know from somebody else's perspective what it meant to them, but I don't know what that means for me. So I can use their guidance and their tools, their information that I receive in the books, or listening to them speak. But we're all connected energetically, but we're still individuals as humans, and we're each going to evolve differently, at a different rate, different pace, different speed. And you might be going along and doing okay for a little while, thinking things are great, and then something knocks you off course, and that's the growth and expansion part. If everything was great all the time, I don't feel there would be as much growth and expansion. So earlier in my days, when I was starting my healing journey, I thought, okay, things are good, everything's going well, my negative thinking has subsided, my body's more relaxed, and I'm moving along. And then all of a sudden, an experience would happen, and I would lose my shit. I would just like, I've been doing so good. Why is this happening? Now I went into victim mode. Why is this happening to me? This isn't supposed to be happening. I was doing so right. And I would just playing that victim role instead of looking at it as, no, sister, this is another step of growth. This is another step of stepping into your power and your strength and your confidence and moving up that scale. Because without that, I would still be who I was.
Kind of crazy.
Life is interesting.
It is. And like you said, it is different for each one of us. And it's just to feel your own journey. Because if someone else is going through something, that's their stuff. And yeah, it may seem like there's hardship and stuff like that, but you gain a different perspective on how you view those experiences. You don't view them so harshly because it's just part of the experience. It's not, it's just part of the experience. I just feel like we're in a time and space that we're probably going to lose a lot more people coming into this new era or new energy. We're going to notice another shift, and it seems like last year was a huge shift. I noticed a huge shift. So it's just being aware. It's not like it's not gloomy or bad or anything else. It's just part of evolution. It's like people came here to do certain things, and they're doing their certain things, and then they're off onto the next thing. And that may be a non-physical, which is all right.
It could be like a cleansing of the physical beings. Could be a cleansing. If we go by the teachings of like Louise Hay and Inna Segal, the ones that we talk about, who say that, the emotional pieces of life that we've harbored in our body create our physical illnesses or diseases or issues, that with the understanding of their teachings, it's the people that are leaving the planet based on it could be corona or any other form of disease that's going on, that they may be in a space or may have been in a space with themselves of that victim state and still hanging on to all their past experiences with a heavy emotion. And when you're in a lower vibration of emotion and you're staying in that space for a very long time, then it's difficult for healing to occur. When you're in their higher vibrational emotions, healing occurs. Is because of the higher energy, the higher vibration that's occurring. And we know that joy and love, laughter, excitement, like that, produces the endorphins and the oxytocin and all that stuff in our body to help us heal. That's all natural stuff in our body. And so if you're in that victim mentality for a period of time, a lengthy period of time, then you're more receptible to illness. And so if it's a cleansing, if we just looked at it as a cleansing of a lower vibrational beings, raising them when they drop the physical body. Now they're raising into spirit, which is a much higher vibration than we are in our physical bodies. Then they're more of a benefit to us in spirit. And then we go into the reincarnation route, that they go into spirit, they're higher in vibration because they've dropped their physical body, and now or then they can come back into physical body in a different timeline and bring forth their wisdom or knowledge or information from what they learned before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because one of the questions, I bring that up, because one of the questions I had this past week, and one of my internal questions I had was, what if the children, the babies that are coming in to physical form, this is for generations and generations even before us, that what if the babies coming in, because they're so close to source and so connected up till about the age of 5-6 years old typically, that they're here to teach us. We were babies, we moved into adulthood, we got convoluted in our thinking, into our ego, into our pride, into our stories. And it's like each time the babies come in and they're aging from the time they can speak until about 5 or 6, that they're here to bring us messages.
They have been
They
the whole
have
time.
been. They have been.
But you say ego, so ego has, they have been. Ego is what says, they have nothing to teach me, I have everything to teach them.
Right.
And it's like that we have nothing to teach them, they have everything to teach us, which is ironic because one of the books I'm reading right now
I just
talks
referenced
about,
that to somebody.
and this is the
Yep,
next one, which is
that
all
one
talking
too.
about children.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just talking about children, and it's just a reminder. And I've known this for a long time. I've known it for a very long time, and especially I guess after I had my grandchildren, I even recognized that I was talking about it before that. But once the grandchildren I had my grandchildren. That's so funny. Like I gave birth. It was such a
birth.
really, but they helped me realize how much I had to learn. It helped me realize because I didn't have the childhood that I remembered. They helped me to have the curiosity. They've taught so much. And it's like listening to them. It's just listening. It's slowing down. They're little generators. They're generators of energy. And it's like there's so much they have to offer that they're teaching us without words. So it's like we can have the ego in the way and think that we know everything, but we do not. We have access to everything. And children are one of the ways to bring that access to us or present it to us.
Yeah, and it's like as you were talking, what came to me was, as adults, we could teach the child to survive. So teaching them their survival skills of how to get food and water and shelter and clothing and stuff like that. But they're teaching us, so that's all masculine energy, that's all ego based, but they're coming in with spiritual messages through speaking or not speaking, because we have those that don't have the ability to speak, but through their energy they're still giving us messages. And so isn't it interesting that you and I we're over this week, and it's happened so many other times before, that we're running these parallel conversations. And Bev and I haven't even talked since the last time we did tea time, since last week. But on Saturday, they did the presentation and they were hanging out afterwards, just having general conversation. And I referenced both of those books, and the topic of The Secret came up. And so it's interesting. You're like, and I'm reading them right now. Both of those books I referenced.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
funny.
But it happens. So that happens all the time, and it's to recognize it happens all the time. But unless you're present, you don't notice it. Like
Right.
these things that I'm going through all these experiences, and I'm being guided certain ways, and then I go listen to, or I'll go read stuff from Judith Kusel on Facebook or Amanda Lawrence on Facebook. Sometimes I see little ads from Elizabeth Peru that's like relevant to me, but it's like it's telling me exactly what I was going through. It's like saying, hey, what you were going through is this, and it's like, I was just this, I just did this, this just happened.
Right.
So it's always, and for me that's confirmation. That's helping us to remind us, me seeing my guardian angel, that's letting us know I'm on the right track. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right this moment. There's
Right.
not anything that am doing wrong, did wrong, that kept me from anything that I was meant to always have in my experience. Nothing. And so it's just very relieving. It's very peaceful. It's a very peaceful place. But it comes down to, which we've been talking about, it's asking questions. And it's like we learn how to ask more questions by things that are presented to us. That's how we ask more questions. Just like last week, why are you feel like you're in a hurry to do this stuff? It wasn't exactly that question, but somewhere along those lines. And it's like, because those questions help us to ask why. And it's like, matter of fact, I knew the urgency is there because this is where I'm supposed to be now. This is getting me to, I've had the strong desire of where I want to be, what's my soul purpose, and so many other things. And I think our purpose is so many things. It's not usually just one thing, I don't believe. But now it's like all those skills that I've learned along the way that I have, or those abilities, which we think is nothing, but it really is something. It like narrows it down into a focal point of what your path is, or what your path could be, or what you're doing. And it changes all the time. Like right now, my mind's being in touch with people through massage, being in touch with people via our conversations. I could hear a conversation at the store, or whatever, or have a conversation with someone else that someone overhears, where it's being active in all that, but being in a higher energy. And it's like, so what you said last week, which I've been doing every single day, how can I be in a higher vibration? How can my vibrational frequency rise higher and higher and higher? And I haven't found the exact way that I like to ask the question. So I've been asking the question millions of ways, but every single day, numerous times a day. And when I do that, I recognize, where is my emotions at right now? How am I feeling? Sometimes I'm in a very high place, and then sometimes I'm not in a very high place. So, but it helps me recognize, well, how can I get it higher right now? How can my frequency rise higher? And I've been guided to watch different movies. I've laughed. I've seen some stuff on TikTok. I've listened to music. I've walked around. I've paid attention to the animals. It's been a million different things, but it's just being aware on the daily how I'm feeling. What am I thinking? What are the words that I'm saying to myself? All these things. It's all of it.
Yeah. Robert Holden, he's from England, I believe, and he did a study on happiness. And one of his exercises is to rate your happiness right here, right now, where you're at, from, it could be 1 to 10 or 10 to 100. And if you're at, let's just say you're at a 60, you're feeling pretty good, and he would say, okay, that's great. I mean, you're at 60 and that's great. We're, it's only 4 away from 100, right? So what would you have to do right now to go from 60 to 70? And some people, it's funny because I did this myself, is to process it and think, oh, okay, well, I need $10,000 in my account, or I need a new car, or what. Like, those are big things. Like, could I get $10,000 in my account right now? Yeah, it's possible. There is possibility of that. But at the same time, it may not be in my wheelhouse of how I'm going to get that, right? So now I go into the how am I going to get it? And so going from 60 to 70 could just be you know what? I just need to move my body. So I'm going to put some music on and dance around the house, right? And just be in that uplifted space. Okay, so great. Now you know what you need to do to get from 60 to 70. Well, what do you need to do to get from 70 to 80? And so he keeps going, and each thing you're like, okay, well, how do I get from 80 to 90? How do I get from 90 to 100? To really be in that space. He calls it happiness, in that happiness space. And so it's similar to what you're doing as far as what can I do to raise my vibration. If I measured my vibration right now, maybe 70. Okay, well, what do you got to do to get to 80? What do I need to do to get my vibration raised so I'm at 80%? And so using that kind of tool really will um, help you, I think, be more aware of how you're feeling in the moment. I mean, you could have had a loss, and maybe you are grieving something, so maybe you're at a 10 or a 20, right? And it's okay, well, let's start moving up. I'm in a grieving space. What do I need to do to move from 20 to 30? And we just take these little steps, and you just keep working on it, and take action. Do it. Go do it. You know what you need to do. Go do it. Not need to, but could do. I'll watch my verbiage.
That's another tool for your tool belt.
There you go. There you go. You got the tool. So just get a pen and paper out, make your list. What can I do? And obviously, if you're raising your vibration, it's going to be something enjoyable, joy, fun, loving. There's going to be a laughter involved when we're talking about vibration. And so that could be, like Bev said, she's watched some videos on TikTok. There's some crazy stuff out there that makes you laugh hysterically. I saw one yesterday. This guy was about to die because he thought his wife had a pregnancy test in her hand, and I think he messed his pants. And really it was just a thermometer, but she was playing along like it was a pregnancy test. He's like, I have 2 teenagers and I can't do this again. And she's like, okay, babe, okay, right? Anyway, it was just hysterical. And so it might just be that. Watch 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, of TikTok videos or something on Facebook. Yesterday I shared a video about kissing your dog, and the dog's response was just like so heartwarming. It would just put a smile on your face and make your heart sing. And so it's just things like that, little things like that can raise your vibration so easily.
So easily.
All
you do is ask, because it's not just up to you, or you know what I mean. We have help around us all the time. So it's just I'll ask how can my vibration get higher, and it's like I'm constantly shown how it can get higher.
So it's a spiritual guidance for you. You're listening to the messages. Okay, we'll go do this. We'll go do that.
Yeah. And then I do when I'm inspired to do. I don't do it beforehand. Yeah. And being aware of what are you listening to. So if you are on TikTok, what are you paying attention to? What's showing up in your experience? Because sometimes they'll throw some stuff in there and it's kind of heavy, and it's like, it'll start out that way. And it's like, I used to listen to a lot of it. Now it's like, man, this is my experience right now. And you're not a lot of my experience. I'll welcome the laughter. I'll welcome the possibilities. I'll welcome joy. But if you're going to lay down limitations, and you're going to lay down hate, and you're going to lay down, this what isness, that what is already freaking happened, that we're already past that point. It's like, what do you want to create from that what is? That what is helping you ask questions. How do you see it being better? Like, I mean, which we've talked about before, is like, if you see the way the schools are going and you don't like what they're teaching, what would you like them teaching? Like, be aware of where you're putting your energy at. Be aware of the questions you're asking. And if you're in a place of things aren't working out and problem after problem after problem, there's no solutions in that energy. It's two separate energies. It's like love and hate. A solution and a problem are two different energies. So be solution oriented, be love oriented. There's so many simple things that are going on, but we get wrapped up in this what isness that we came into, paying attention to all the stuff around us. What are you giving your attention to? Because whatever you're seeing, however you're feeling is exactly what you've been putting out. You've been requesting, I want some more of that. Please bring me some more hate, discontent. And I'm at a point where bring me some more love, bring me some more laughter, bring me some more moments to cherish, bring me some more the weather lately. It's like before the humidity when I was younger, I would have lost my mind. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Because I'm in there putting makeup on, I'm sweating, putting makeup on, it's this whole thing. It's like, man, I wasn't sticky when I went to bed after my shower, and now I'm all sticky again. But the positive side of that is there's more moisture in the air. We've had more rains. There's just so much positive. There's more green growth around. The birds are singing, they're freaking happy. I mean, everything is, there's such a positive, if you put your focus on it.
Right. Right. And it's true. The energy. So Saturday when I did the presentation, I talked about the lower vibrational emotions and the higher vibrational emotions and the difference, pretty much what I was saying a while ago. And it's interesting when I have a class or do a presentation or something, the people who are very receptive or very receptive, they're very aware. The people who are still in that victim mentality or lower vibrational emotions, it was like they didn't hear a word that was spoken, right? There was no receptivity, because the first thing out of their mouth after I get done talking was something negative, lower vibrational. And I just sit there and I look at them like, that's interesting. You just listened to me speak for a good hour and you're still in that space. And so everybody's where they're at. They're going to learn on their own terms. They're going to receive the information when they're ready. This particular person was there specifically to share some information about something. So her wheelhouse, her thinking process wasn't even about what I was talking about. Because when you're doing visualization, it's about the higher vibrational emotions, because you want to bring that into your visualization process. And she wasn't there. She wasn't there for it.
No, but you planted seeds. She
Yep.
probably was someone that helped someone else ask different questions. And let's go to that visualization. Visualization is huge. If you want to grow your natural abilities that we all have to be able to see things through your mind's eye, it's through visualization. It's presenting all this information to you. And the next thing you know, you start seeing everything that's around you, that's been there this whole time. But it's like practicing that. This is another. We say visualization, and it's like that takes you back to The Secret or whatever. That's where my mind would go to. That's what I would think. But it's like it's so much bigger than that. It's really so much bigger than that. It's really visualizing and seeing all the things that you want. And it's like the more you do it, at first it may seem kind of rough, like it's kind of hard. Because I think, didn't you start off where you had a hard time seeing how things could possibly be, or like even creating stuff? But it's like it's not impossible, because I have another friend, a very close friend, that she was having problems with that. And I think that she's kind of growing past that. It was never a problem. It was just something that brought your attention or awareness to that, hey, I could do this differently.
Right.
But we think it's a problem because it's like, I can't do that. She can do it. And I can't do, there's something wrong with me. I'm broken, I guess. And I've heard people make those kind of comments. It's like, man, you're not broken. You're not, but you have an awareness now of something that you could make different. You could play with. This is fun.
So let me tell you a story. I did this whole spiel on visualization in front of all these women on Saturday. Okay. Sunday, I go in, and I have to go clean our pool and pool filter. It's just a little small pool that we have. Anyway, the pool filter, it's got this connector that you have to twist, right? And um, if you don't, when you put it back together, if you don't get it put back together correctly, it leaks. Okay, well, just so you know, it took me about 6 times to get this thing done right, so it wasn't leaking. But here's what the funny part was. I put the connector on, it leaked, took it off, right? I did this like 5 times. I know it was probably 6 times I did it. So 5 times. So the 6th time I go to do it, I don't know how I tightened this thing or if I kind of cross-threaded it or whatever I did. I could not freaking get this thing undone. I couldn't get it loose. And that's what I was telling myself. I can't do this. I was thinking about who could I call to come help me because this thing was leaking and I didn't want it leaking. And I'm like, there was my focus, right? I can't do this. I can't get this loosened. What am I going to do? And I tried and I tried so many different ways to loosen this thing up. I'm like, all right, we just got to stop. So I sat down and I just took a breath. I said, I've been focused on, I can't do it. I mean, I'm having conversation out loud in my backyard with myself. I'm focused on, I can't do it. This is not going to get me anywhere. So I took another breath and I started visualizing it. The connector came undone, that when I put it back together, it didn't leak. Everything was good the way it's supposed to be, right? I went through this whole process in my head. I got up, grabbed the connector, whoop, came undone, did what I needed to do, put it back together, didn't leak. I was like, this took me 6 times. Even after giving a spiel about what you focus on grows. And that was just like, there's no harm or foul for anybody in that process, but it was a very good experience to say, check your mindset.
Yeah, and confirmation too. And then also now you're giving other people the idea of how to work through something instead of focusing on it being the problem, instead of focusing on thinking that you're stuck, and instead of focusing on any of those things, it's changing that thought, that mindset. And I would almost, when you were talking, I would almost say that you probably went into a neutral space. As you were talking out loud, you were getting yourself into this neutral space, like basically, why am I doing this? Because I'm offering energy that's not going to be beneficial. It's not going to help me achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And then you totally switched it. So you went into this neutral place, and then you were able to visually see this coming together like you wanted it to come together.
Yep.
But still being open, because we don't know exactly, or you wouldn't have known exactly how that was going to happen. And then to be able to walk over and how easily something opens up. It's just like losing something, right? We've talked about that before. If you have something lost, the energy is different than something found. And sometimes those lost things are right in front of our face. And it's happened to me numerous times. It's even happened to me a lot lately, where I'll think something's gone and I'll walk back. I'm like, I wonder where it's at. I'll think to myself, and then it's like, oh, it's right there. And I'll walk right back to the bathroom sink where I left it.
Yep.
Right where I looked just a few minutes ago, but it wasn't there because I couldn't see it because it was lost. So it's just a funny thing, but it's walking through these processes. And to me, sometimes maybe it's a good thing that it makes you slow down all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were in a hurry to get it done. I want to get this done to get on to the next thing. And it's not about getting on to the next thing as fast as you can. It's about slowing down and enjoying the journey.
Actually, I wanted to get it done because there's some rain coming and I didn't want to be standing there.
But what's the worst that could have happened from the rain? You would have got wet?
They would have been all really slippery and I wouldn't be able to grab it, because I mean, I have to have both hands and it was already a little bit wet and slippery. So I was trying to figure out how to get a real good grip on it. And I also, during that process, called in Archangel Michael. I said, Archangel Michael, I need some strength here. And I said, I know I'm not weak. I got some muscles. I just need a little extra help here, buddy. Stood up, popped it right open.
Nice.
It was great.
It is great.
We do some funny things. And yes, slow down. When we get, absolutely, every time I get in a hurry to get something done, I screw it up. Something doesn't go right. And then I got to do it all over again, or I'm late to something, or whatever the case might be. But when you slow down, take a breath, and there's ease.
Always.
Always. And if I feel like I'm going to be late for something, I'm just like, nope, I'm actually going to arrive 5 minutes early. It's going to be so good. I'll be there 5 minutes early. It's okay. And I just keep telling myself, and I just enjoy the journey to where destination where I'm going. And even if I get there 2 minutes earlier, that was a win, right? Because I wasn't late. So I just tell you, nope, we're good. I'll be there early. Even it's okay.
And my whole thing is I'm always on time. So my always on time might be 2 minutes after, but that just means the person wasn't ready just yet. So
Yeah.
it gave them an extra few minutes. So it's like, it's always, if you start stressing about it, worry about it, then it's like on your drive there, every obstacle that could possibly be there will be there, and then some.
Every red light.
Yep.
Every detour.
And then the more angry you get, or the more worried you get, it's like you just get more and more of that same emotion. That's something that matches that energy to be in your way.
Right.
And then notice your thoughts. Then your thoughts kind of take a dump down the toilet, really. Because then it's like you start thinking about, oh my God, I'm so whatever. I could have done this so differently. And you start beating yourself up because it's an energy match. It's not because it's right. It's not because the experience is saying, hey, this is true about yourself. No, it's not. It just means that you're a match to that energy.
Yep.
It's not true. You're perfect just the way you are. I heard someone say that. It was one of my clients, and he's like, I'm perfect the way I am. I'm perfectly me, exactly like how me is supposed to be. Perfect.
Perfect.
So we are perfect. That's right.
That's
But it's just not in the perfection mode of feeling like you always have to get it right or anything like that. We're just perfect the way we are.
absolutely true. 100%. I agree. So can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
It's kind of off topic, but not really. I tell you, I find dimes in odd places all the time. Okay. So I have a customer who wanted to purchase something from me, and she actually lives like 2 minutes from me. Okay. And when I called her to set up to deliver, she was waiting to get her nails done. And that was about 10 minutes away from me. And while I was talking to her, my thought, I know it was my head saying, oh, just wait till she gets home and then tell her to call when she gets home. But something else said, go now. She says, I'm waiting here to get my nails done. If you want to come, you can get your money from me, and yada, yada, yada. And something said, go now. I said, okay, I'll be there soon. So immediately I got up, I left, parked, opened the door, looked down, and there was a freaking dime.
Nice.
That happens to me all the time. And then it was Thursday morning when I got up. My husband had he had laid his wallet and some change on the bed. And when I went to bed, it looked like all of it was picked up because it was on my side. It was on my side of the bed, but no, I was just kidding. But it looked like it would have all been picked up. And so I got up that morning, and as I'm walking around the end of the bed, there's a dime and 2 pennies. I'm like, And then it was that same day that I went to get the money from this lady, and there was a dime on the ground.
Nice.
So all the time, dimes and feathers. Feathers are showing up for me. I was in my bedroom, and I have a dark cream colored type of um, carpet, and I didn't have my glasses on, and but I could see that there was something darker laying on the carpet, but I couldn't actually tell what it was because it was tiny. It was small. I mean, it was like small, like small. And so um, I get down real close, and it was a feather just a little bit darker than the carpet. I'm like, I can't make this stuff up. It just happens all the time. I love it.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Just reiterates that we have messages all around us. And
yeah.
it's like finding, looking up what does that mean? Yesterday I saw a teeny tiny horny toad. It was probably like as big as I'd probably say that just this part of my thumb. Just
That's
this part.
little. He's a
It
baby.
was little. And the cat was gonna like try paw right on top of it. I'm like, no, this is just a baby. We're gonna let the baby. I mean, it wasn't like it was gonna haul butt anywhere. If you've ever seen a horny toad, they don't run very fast.
Right.
Or a horned toad. So I picked him up and put him into the bush and then got the cat moved away. But it's like looking up all that information. And it's just like you said just a few weeks ago, you were in this mastermind class or this group, and you were talking about, writing down the messages that you're receiving, what all you're seeing, the numbers that we see that are repeated over and over and over again, the animals. And it's like, it like happens so often. It's like, and I've thought about this because I had these experiences too. It's like the first thing I saw the other day was a roadrunner. Then it's like after that I had a dragonfly flew up into my face. A little while later, a hummingbird right into my face. Then I'm seeing a hawk flying around. And like making its noise and stuff. It's call out, and it's like holy crap! Like all the stuff that we get on a regular basis, and then the horned toad. It's like all the stuff. It's like you look at the stuff, and then I started looking at what was the same message, what was similar about all those things. And there's messages all the time. We're never alone. There's always constant information. We can make life like a freaking I was going to say Easter egg hunt, but what's the other, like you're always going, they set up things for you to go looking for
Scavenger
things,
hunt.
treasure hunt. We could call it a treasure hunt or whatever.
Treasure hunt.
Yeah, so going on, we can treat life that we're always finding all this stuff because there's all these gifts all around us all the time. Or we can constantly look at it like it's another obstacle put in my way. It wasn't that cow was in my way. That cow slowed me down. Why did that cow slow me down? Oh, that cow slowed me down probably from something. Maybe I took a breath. Maybe I just slowed down for a minute. Because sometimes I'll be driving, like if I'm angry and I'm driving fast, all of a sudden I'll get like 3 or 4 birds flying with me in front of me, and they slow me down. You guys, okay.
That is so good.
Getting the message. And then I noticed I was mad.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We got to see what resonates. For each of us, something different resonates with that. So you just have to follow your own intuition, your own guidance, your own universal team.
Yep. Be in your space.
Be in your
People are going to
space.
understand it. People are going to think you're a little crazy. But if it works, it works. And I know it works.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Before I wasn't okay with that. I'm okay with that now. If you want to perceive me a certain way, that's that. I put post up, and when I'm putting post up, a lot of times it's because I'm growing through this stuff too. So this is what my experiences are. This is what I'm posting about right now, or maybe what I'm trying to convince myself about right now. I'm not really sure sometimes.
Yep.
But it's like some of the stuff it's being aware that when someone has an opinion about you or has a thought about you, that's coming from wherever they are right this moment. That's coming from a victim standpoint or a happy standpoint or a harmony, whatever. It's wherever they're at right now, how they perceive you. And that has nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. It's like, how do I perceive me? Well, I perceive me now as a person I'm growing a lot. I'm finding happiness a lot. I've talked about, so I've lost lost. I haven't lost anything. My mom had passed or left her physical being. My brother left his physical being, and my husband had left his physical being. And it's like now when I look back at them, even like this love that I feel, it's a universal love. I don't feel like I love Jim more than I love my mom. It's not, there's no grading thing. This is something that recently happened to me because before I felt so different, and now it's like I feel like like this is my universal team that I'm in love with. I love this. They're all part of my team, and I don't feel like this overwhelming, um, like this love that's, you read about these stories that this love is all consuming, and it's like, oh, it's devastating because you lost it and stuff. It's like I've gained too much. It's such a weird place to be in, but it's the place is there is no grading scale. I don't love one more than another. It's very freeing, to be quite honest with you, because I've never felt that way, and it's only because I had to. If I wanted to achieve where I'm at now, I had to go through these processes. I had to visually go through this whole experience and feel this whole experience, really. And then the loss part was me. So we go back to the part of you grieving your old, the loss of your old self, because there was a loss of my old self.
Mm-hmm.
I had to grieve this loss of myself. The person that was lost was not Jim, my mom, or my brother. It was me. It was never them. They were never lost. They're exactly where they were supposed to be. So it's a crazy thing. Did I always feel this way? No, I did not. But as this has progressed, I feel totally different. I feel such a peace and ease about everything, about all that now. And it's been consistent. Like that just is the way it is. It's just matter of fact. So, being aware of how you feel, being stuck in the victim mode, because there was some times I was in that victim mode. And this victim didn't want to be here on some of those occasions. But
Right.
I'm still here.
They're still here.
I'm still here with all myself.
Doing the tea time.
That's right.
Awesome blossom. Thank you so much for sharing, and I always love our conversations every week.
Me
It's
too.
I think it's surprising to me. It's like, oh my God, she's reading those books, and I was just talking about those books, right? It's just things like that is just so fun, and that, as you said, we're connected. We're all connected in so many different ways, even though we're having our own individual experiences on life, we're still energetically connected. And it was like, okay, you two are going to go and do these things, but then when you come together, you're going to have common uh, topics, because you're doing the same things out here, and now we're going to bring them together. And so that's the way our organic conversations happen. Bev and I rarely talk in between tea time.
True.
It's rare. And if we do talk, it's typically planning something. We're planning a day together or a photo shoot or something. It isn't having these conversations. And so um, it's just awesome how we're able to do this. So thank you for being here each week and sharing in this experience.
Thank you.
So that's Amie, or Tea Time with, I always want to say it backwards, Tea Time with Amie and Bev. And we just come forward each week to bring information and knowledge, our wisdom from life experiences, our intuitive guidance that we've received and what's working for us. We also share what's not working, just so you know that either way is going to help you on your journey. So hope our information is helping you, and we appreciate if you share this information with your friends and family. People that you may know are struggling in a way that they're ready for a change, a shift, to hear something different or hear it in a different way. So leave us your comments, your questions, or reach out to us at amieandbev@gmail.com. And we're also on Facebook. Amie and Bev is our page. Amie and Bev Community is our group, Facebook group. That's all I got.
That's all I got. Have a divine week.
A divine week. Yes, indeed. I concur. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.